I was 17 when she arrived. I had been living with my abusive mother for 17 long, agonizing years. It was near midnight, and my mother was already asleep. So when the 3 soft taps came at the front door, I was the one who answered. A peculiar-looking little girl was standing there, with cheeks that were pale and devoid of color, blonde hair styled in braided pigtails, a pink dress slightly torn at the hem, bare feet turning a little blue from the winter cold, and black eyes, deep, unfathomable black eyes. I quickly brought her inside, thinking about how terribly underdressed she was. It wasn't until later that I would wonder why she hadn't been shivering, or even question why she was there in the first place. I settled her in the living room, wrapping her small frame in a thick afghan my grandmother had knitted. She held it, though it didn't appear to have any effect on her, and I smiled. "What's your name, sweetie?" A long silence passed, during which she stared at me. I was starting to feel uncomfortable from her black gaze when she parted her lips and spoke in a soft voice. "Lacy Morgan." I nodded, smiling once more. "You can stay here tonight, Lacy," I said, gesturing toward the couch. She curled up into a small ball, her black eyes still fixed on me, and I left the room. That night I slept soundly, without worrying about my mother hitting me, or the strange little girl on my couch. When morning came, I trudged into the kitchen. I was met with a coffee mug hitting my shoulder. I let out a weak cry of pain, staring at my mother. "What the hell did you do? Why is there dirt on the couch?" she shouted, leaving me thoroughly bewildered. Upon inspection, I discovered that Lacy had vanished, the only evidence of her presence being some dirt that must have fallen off her dress or feet. I took the blame, earning myself a hard hit to my cheek, then left for school. While there, I heard something that sent chills down my spine. Lacy Morgan was found dead last night. I spent the day waiting for any more news on the matter, but found none. When I got home, the news was broadcasting a live report about her. Lacy Morgan, 6 years of age, was reported dead at 7 last night. Her body was found in the backyard, buried there in her pink dress. So far, there has been no sign of her mother, Marissa Morgan, who is suspected to be the killer. Marissa has reportedly abused Lacy multiple times and may be responsible for her death. Suddenly, a photograph of Lacy appeared on the screen. She looked very similar to how she had when I met her. Blonde hair and braids, a pink dress, a pale face. Only her cheeks had color and her eyes were a baby blue. To most, this would seem insignificant, but to me, it was crucial. She had died before arriving at my house. If what the newscaster said was true, she had died hours before. I tried to dismiss it, going about my business. I went to bed early so I wouldn't have to face my mother. It was around midnight when I woke up, the cool fingers caressing the bruise on my cheek. I sighed, leaning into the small hand. "Never again," Lacy whispered before her hand disappeared. Not even 10 minutes later I heard my mother screaming. I rushed into the bedroom, nearly fainting at what I saw. My mom was thrashing wildly on her bed, a small creature having buried its face into her chest. I could hear the sound of flesh tearing. My mother's screaming grew louder. I wished I hadn't gotten up. Later, I'd tell myself I hadn't, but I had. So when Lacy pulled back from the gaping hole in my mother's chest cavity, I had a clear view of razor-sharp teeth glinting in the light, glinting with my mother's blood. She smiled innocently at me for a moment, before quickly tearing out my mother's jugular. That time I did pass out. When I awoke, I was in my bed. I walked into my mom's room, morbid curiosity getting the better of me. Upon opening the door, I found the room empty, the bed neatly made as if my mom had left for work early. The only strange things were the dirty child's footprints and the open window, which proved that Lacy had indeed visited. I never saw my mother again, and I never missed her either. I eventually got married, and we had a child together. I named her Lacy. Recently, I noticed the neighbor's daughter had all sorts of scrapes and bruises on her arms. I've started watching their house, and the other day, I saw something strange. A little girl running barefoot through their backyard up to the back door. It was around midnight, so I couldn't be completely sure. But I thought she met my eyes with her black ones, and I could swear she mouthed 2 words at me. Never again.